get to some X reactions. We're gonna do some X reactions here. Uh, so we've got Max Payne. Max Payne says, "Truth in plain sight, as usual." What is this? It's a video of mermaids. Here, let's. It's only 20 seconds. It says. So let's see what this is about. What's going on here? Is she a fairy or something? So they burn her, get her dust. They sacrifice her for her dust. It's got 32,000. Wow, 4.5 million impressions, 32,000 likes, 4.2k retweets, and 481 comments. It was posted yesterday. We don't need to play it again, but let's see what the comments are talking about. They brag about it all the time. Watch The Dark Crystal and it becomes obvious. Wow. So these people believe that movies are displaying what is actually happening when it comes to the supernatural world, right? But there's no evidence behind any of this, right? I don't know of any legitimate cases of witches stealing children. I know it from myth and legend and lore. That's where I hear witches stealing children in the night, folk legends, but I've never seen a legitimate court case that didn't exist in like the witch trials, okay? When they were persecuting just women that they didn't like. I don't recall any sort of legitimate case of actual witches stealing children or kidnapping children or anything. So, because that's what they do in the Hocus Pocus movies. So I don't understand. I don't know of any cases where any witches or sorcerers or anything were doing stuff like this to children. Like, so how is this truth in plain sight? They're always showing us. They're always showing us. What's this? Control of Earth. This is 3 minutes and 46 seconds. We're not going to watch this whole thing, but what is this? Here, let's
in college and two little boys. But anyway, 1960s.
Beware danger. Do not touch Earth control. If this handle is pulled, the world will come to an end.
Rain.
Come on, like what is this? You gotta watch the whole 3 minutes to get the point.
Just so like in my other videos, if you look on my post.
So the like we're in a matrix and there's someone behind the scenes pushing the buttons and stuff like that. No. You can't even guarantee a consistent Wi-Fi connection, yet you want me to believe that there is a perfect, matrix machine in the background that's running things. Stop it. Reminds me of the Fantastic Planet in a semi unrelated way. Whoa, that is kind of creepy. Hey Grok, is this a real movie clip? And if yes, what's the name? It's probably not. It's probably... Oh wait, here it is right here. Maybe next time don't steal this bad from Gloomstopper. You cut the freaking credits even. Which is another thing that happens on X. People will... there's this guy going around... or there's this guy, Dom Lucre, who used to be somewhat well-known and popular in certain communities, but now people are like calling him out for like stealing content and not crediting original creators and posting it as his own. So and Max Payne got 4.5 million views off of someone else's work. I'm sure this happens in other communities. I'm sure this is not just relegated to the spiritual community, but this is a big, big issue. So I don't even think we need to, so even with this proof here, right, that it was made by Gloomstopper, This guy, which I'm not signed in on my PC on Instagram, but this guy, even though, oh, it's not going to let me go to his profile without signing up. But so looks like he makes this type of content. He makes AI content, right? But someone took it and made it, oh, this is truth in plain sight. Made it conspiratorial, right? So we can move on. Don't even have to read through the rest of these comments. This is how people fall for it, right? They're like, oh my God, people are waking up. 4.5 million people saw this. I'm sure most of this is bots. I'm sure most of this is paid for, right? And so they think that they're part of some, awakening. No, this is stolen. Stolen. So let's move on to the next thing here. Here we go. Anton LaVey was a brilliant CIA performance actor, and the Church of Satan was originally a CIA cultural creation, much like Marilyn Monroe, with whom LaVey had a romantic fling with. Whoa. So while I have heard the conspiracy of, a lot of these alternative spiritual movements, such as Satanism, at least like organized Satanism that LaVey tried to do, things like Blavatsky, things like the Rosicrucian, like I've heard that these movements, the Golden Dawn, all that, were all funded or at least helped along by the CIA or some other form of like government alphabet organization. And while I have seen some very compelling evidence of these things, I would wonder why they didn't get like those specific organizations, right? Not the things that they teach and all that other stuff, because I would say that the occult has gotten pretty big, but no one cares what the Golden Dawn says, right? Like if the CIA was funding it, you don't think that they would just be able to, I mean, especially in today's world with digital marketing and paying for bots, like we just saw on the last post that got 4.5 million views in comparison to this one, which only got 16,000 views, right? In comparison, 16,000 views on this one, 4.5 million on this one. Come on. This got double the likes than what this one got. I mean, then it's views, not its likes. Excuse me. Double the likes, double the amount of likes for what this one got in views. That's crazy. That's crazy. But anyway, I'm not sure if I'm fully on board with these things because again, in today's world where you can just talk to the music industry, right? Talk to the entertainment industry. They'll show you how to bot, right? We've all seen the things that certain artists, certain YouTubers that profile the music industry, that are intimately involved, the things that they've come out and they've said about the botting, the bot wars and all that for streams and all that. Go talk to them. I'm sure they can show you how you can make Satanism popular in today's digital world, but it's not. And I don't mean like from a Christian perspective where if it's not Christian, then it's satanic. So even if you're Buddhist, you're satanic. I mean legit straight Satanism. Why isn't it more popular? Digital marketing should be able to make it more popular. Why isn't the Golden Dawn more popular? Why isn't Crowley? All the conspiracy theorists want Crowley to be like one of the like church fathers, quote unquote, in the occult, right? Someone who is well respected by all occultists everywhere, or at least the majority, and that's not true. But they should be able to make the illusion that it's true by putting out all these, fake posts and botted posts and videos and all this other stuff with their bot farms to make these things more popular. But they're not. That's why I can't get behind these things are CIA funded and government funded, because the government could make it popular. Like, if you can make an artist who can't sing, can't dance, can't do that, and you can make them popular, if you can take an actor who doesn't got no talent and you can make them popular by making it look like when they're live on Instagram, they've got 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 people watching, that their videos are getting millions of views, their songs are getting millions of streams. If you can fake that, you can fake this. You can pick your top whatever witches, top whatever occultists online right now, and you can bot farm the hell out of them and make it look like they're the most popular thing under the sun. But they don't. So that's why I can't get behind, like, these things are organically made and grown. Or if they did have a start from funding from the CIA, they gave up early on and the CIA backed out. And these things have been growing and dying organically. Satanism didn't really make it. I mean, like, in a real way, didn't really make it. Rosicrucianism, Golden Dawn, all those things didn't really make it. The only one they could say is Theosophy, which has blended very well into the New Age. But let's see what else it's saying here. These figures were cultural actors hired by the government to promote specific agendas for the elite who control the government. To what purpose? To upend culture and society? I mean, like, I would say culture and like, if you study history, culture and society was always fucked up. It just wasn't public. People did it on the underground. You don't think that gay people existed in history? That's a ridiculous notion. You think that they just showed up because, Anton LaVey popped around? No, there were gay people. Like, look at the Greeks. Now, of course, they wouldn't look at that as gay, but like, these things existed in history. This wasn't something that just popped up because LaVey came around and now everybody wants to pervert, society. It was just kept underground. Society has gotten more if these groups did anything, if these occult groups did anything, it's make people more comfortable with being themselves above ground. They didn't change society. They made people more comfortable. It was always there, just under the surface. But Satanism never gained the kind of traction in the West that the CIA had hoped for. But why not? And why couldn't they force it? Again, you can force an artist on me. You can force a movie on me. You can force a TV show on me. But you can't force this on me? Come on. Easy ways to make this way more popular than it has been. But they don't. LaVey's approach was too scripted, and the Church of Satan movement failed to spark a true revolution. Until now, that is, with the 99%. The Satanic Bible now reads like an instruction manual for current government agendas, which is shocking. No, it doesn't. You can read the Satanic Bible, guys. I think I have a PDF copy. Oops, that's not funny. Okay, I don't have a copy of the Satanic Bible. But you can read it easily online. Actually, here. We'll go to Anna's. Anna will have it. I'm surprised I don't have it. Which one should we get? This one's like, I want to get one that isn't too here we go. The original. I don't want to get like a revised update because you can change things, right? I want to go back as close as you can get to the original. And this was the one published in 1969 and then again in 1976. So this is what I want. I don't want the 2012 updated revised edition where you can change things and, the author put their own, spin in it and, their own whatever. Let's go back to what LaVey said. All right, let's go back to what LaVey said. Come on. We'll just do that. Jeez, it's just a PDF. Why is it like taking so long to download? Like, come on. It's just a PDF, man. Like, this is kind of crazy. You're taking a little long to download here. And I'm plugged directly in. Well, I'm using Mocha. So I'm not, you know, it thinks I'm plugged directly in, but technically I'm not, but I am. And this is making me feel like it's on like bootleg Wi-Fi. Like, come on, what is going on? What is going on? All right, we're done. Okay. And I don't know why it's in here. Move over to downloads. Why would you? And so we're going to remove you from there. All right. A how-to manual, huh? Can you guys see this? The way I don't know how well you guys can, so I'm just going to zoom in a bit. There we go. The God you save may be yourself, some evidence of a new satanic age, hell, the devil, and how to sell your soul. Love and hate, satanic sex, not all vampires suck blood, indulgence, not compulsion, on the choice of human sacrifice, of a human sacrifice, excuse me, life after death through fulfillment of the ego, religious holidays, the Black Mass, government doing what, where. All right. Theory and practice of satanic magic, definition and purpose of the lesser grade of magic, the 3 types of satanic ritual: the ritual or intellectual decompression chamber, the ingredients used in the performance of satanic magic, desire, timing, imagery, direction, the balance factor. All right, I'm not going to read through all this, but you guys can pause and take a look at all this. So I would say book. Well, I guess they're not in books. Air, well, fire, air, and yeah, fire and air, I guess, are not instructions. So earth, I mean, I don't know if these are instructions, but yeah. But then it looks like water when you get to Leviathan. This is where you get to actual instruction. So, and then okay. So I wonder who in the government is doing anything like this. Who in the government is reading the Enochian, which is, that's another interesting thing, that he's adding the use of the Enochian keys in a satanic ritual. If you know anything about Enochian, John Dee was talking to angels, or at least what he thought were angels. Now, in some cases, he was talking to angels. We know he talked to like Anael and Gabriel and stuff like that. So, you know, we know he was in some cases talking to angels, but some of those other spirits, I mean, no one believes that they're demons, but they may not be angels, at least in the way that we are familiar with angels, at least as is taught in the occult. So it's weird that he's using Enochian keys, which is supposed to be the angelic language. I mean, I've even got Aaron Leach's books here, called The Angelical Language, volumes 1 and 2, the Angelical Language volume 1 and the Angelical Language volume 2, which is more of a dictionary and a pronunciation guide. And I mean, it right on the back, an encyclopedia lexicon of the tongue of angels, and it's Enochian. So this is the, so it's weird that, you know, this is angelical, these are angel languages, and he's using them as a you know, for his satanic invocations. Really, really interesting, and should show you how he just threw anything together. But of course, back in the 60s, who knew? If you were a young person in the 60s growing up in the counterculture, you didn't know about John Dee and Enochian. This would have been your, assuming you were into this type of stuff, this would have been your first introduction to that. Unless you were into occult history and you had access. Oh, sorry, I thought I put my phone on vibrate. Unless you had access to those types of books from like a university or something like that, you wouldn't have known that Enochian was an angelic language from John Dee and Edward Kelly, blah, blah, blah. Right? You wouldn't have known that. This would have been your first introduction to that. And even if he mentions that, oh, this is from John Dee, Edward Kelly, they thought they were talking to angels, blah, 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 he connects it to Satanism. So that should just show you the potpourri, the hodgepodge of just taking whatever. So who in the government is doing this? Who in the government is doing an invocation employs toward the conjuration of lust? Show me that, please. Show me that, please. Craziness. Craziness. All right, let's move on. We're only going to react to a few things in this video. What is this? Student claims she solved schizophrenia during a research paper. Not really a cult. So we're going to move on. A French clairvoyant, Stephanie Cardinaux, saw reptilian beings shadow and attach themselves to people's astral bodies. Okay. Okay, what is this? How do I stop, pause that. Here, let me just open it up. They apparently extend their own lifespan by feeding on negative emotion, which makes them denser. They inspire thoughts and block life force like heart energy. What the fuck? I don't know if I can zoom in on this, guys. Yeah, there's no like zoom on this. But okay, so this is in French. And so it's talking about the different areas of the chakra, or the different chakras, excuse me, that these reptilians can affect supposedly, and how when they, I guess, feed on those chakra points or whatever, what it can cause you to then react in a way, right, by bringing out lustful thoughts or violent thoughts and having you do violent things and all that other stuff. Wow. Yeah, people really believe this. This got 243,000 views, 158 comments. So enough people. I'm sure most of these comments will what is this? We will check them out, but I'm sure enough of these comments are people who like agree with what's being said. Also described insectoid and stregonous beings that feed on sexual energy. They will attach themselves to women who have been abused. In an instance, he saw clairvoyantly a woman who lost her ability to breathe properly. Come on, man. No one's ever reported this. Like, stop it. Why don't we have any of these types of reports in the occult? It's only in the pseudo spiritual communities. No one in the occult ever makes these types of claims or makes these types of like whatevers. Like, this is insane. This is insane. But let's take a look at some of the comments. Satan Watch says this is absolutely pristine schizograph. Thank you. At least someone has a brain, and their name is Satan Watch. This is an absolutely pristine schizograph. Yes, this is someone who is schizophrenic. This is not clairvoyance. Stop it. And why don't all like, that's the thing about these, like, no one asked this question except me. I'm the only one that seems to ask this question. Why is there no cohesion in what these channelers and these cosmic awakeners and these clairvoyants, what they see? So this clairvoyant says this, but then another clairvoyant from America, so this one's from France, another one in America will say something different. Oh, they don't feed off, they feed off your mind state and all some other nonsense. And then one from Australia will say something different. And then one from South America will say they don't feed on you at all. They really just, want to make clones of you or some nonsense. All these channelers have different truths, and they're all supposedly true. Your truth, my truth, his truth, our truth. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. None of this is true. This is all BS. None of this can be demonstrated. None of this can be, there's no evidence of this. Someone drawing an image and then making alien faces doesn't mean it's true. Just because they looked at what a research paper looks like and kind of modeled it after a real research paper doesn't make it real. This stuff is not true. Let's continue. I recently asked Jesus Christ to remove the demons of hate and violence from my life, and it worked. You should try it if you're struggling. Well, this person definitely needs to try something because they're nonsensical. They think that a reptilian is like standing behind them with like all these like pseudo Kabbalistic, symbol, like sun sign and not sun sign, but um, the Paths of the Sufferers, excuse me, in the back here, behind this reptilian. Come on, like this is insane. This is insane. Let's read a few more comments. Please be careful. History shows that many of these so-called clairvoyants and channelers have communed with deceiving spirits. Well, at least, you know, this person has a brain. Christ said, you shall know them by their fruit. Well, I would agree that a lot of these people were BSing, are BSing. Actually, yeah, I think there's some names I might want to remove off here, but for the most part, and by some names I mean maybe just like one. But yeah, Jordan Maxwell, yeah, David Icke, yeah, Daryl Anka, the Bashar guy, yeah, Gene Roddenberry. Didn't he created and Andromeda, right? That show Andromeda. Alice Bailey, yeah, Blavatsky, Crowley, and Bailey, and also Manly P. Hall are like the top conspiracy names that people will throw out there to like make their quotes seem legit. It's so crazy. All right, let's do one or two more. Satanism, or excuse me, shamanism is an essential service. Interesting. From a cult bot. Only 4 comments, 2.5K views. We're not going to focus on that. I can't unsee Jay-Z looking like he's recording people with his ring. Oh, he's the way he's holding his hand. It's like he's recording. He's basically telling you inadvertently that he too was replaced. Donald Trump was replaced.
Business that he normally used to do. Do you think that your relationship
well, this isn't a cult. I don't. Come on. I don't care about any of that stuff. Oh, this alien nonsense again. Oh God. But no one else has ring. That's the only house that has ring. Neighbors don't got ring. No one else got ring. We only see it from this one house's angle. Come on. Well, wait a minute. Was that a different angle? Hold on. A security camera in the U.S. Blah blah blah. Like computer graphics, but it's real. Experts suggest it could be a ball of lightning. Okay, just because Tolga Ozalek says it's real doesn't make it real. Who, like, where's the evidence that this is real? And maybe there was 2 different views. It does look like there was a different view. Yeah, that right there looks like it's a different view. But actually it's not. It's just zoomed in. Okay, because this got closer. This little thing right here got closer. Look. See? See that right there? So it's just zoomed in. It's okay, so it's not a different view. So would there should be multiple views, right? Whenever there's a criminal who was on someone's ring camera, there's always 4 or 5 other houses that also have ring or Nest or something, and they show their view, right? But not with this. Come on. Hey Grok, is this real? And then the very next one, Grok, is this video real? Let's see what Grok said. Oh, Grok didn't respond. Okay, right here. Ask Grok is currently available. Okay, yeah, you got to be subscribed. That's why I'm already subscribed to Gemini. I mean, I have an Android, so you know, I do everything through the Google ecosystem anyway. And for anyone who wants to make fun, if you use iPhone, I hope you understand that iPhone's AI, because Apple gave up on their Siri AI, blah blah blah, is Gemini. Just be aware that your AI on your Apple iPhone, at least currently, as of this recording, I'm recording this on May 15th, 2026. As of this recording, you're using Google AI. So you can mock, but you're using our AI. So, all right, let's do one more here. Oh wait, this is still the same one. All right, so yeah, this is bullshit, guys. Like, come on, this is obviously bullshit. So, all right, we're gonna move on. According to declassified documents from Project Stargate, CIA confirmed humans possess powerful latent abilities, including out-of-body experiences. And so I love that they don't link this stuff, right? So all right, we're going to go ahead and download this. Saved it. Nope. All right. Okay. So you like for people who like, I don't got time to read all that. I'm not reading all that. You don't gotta read all that. This one doesn't have it. We did a deep dive and I did it live. This video is being pre-recorded. So, but I did it live on TikTok where we went through, it wasn't Stargate, it was the other one. The one for remote viewing. I forget which one that was. Because just like this guy is saying here on X, there was a post on X. It was like, oh, the CIA released documents saying that, you know, remote viewing is real and people can do it and no one's talking about it. And I was like, guys, like, that just proves that you guys just go off of whatever someone just says on X, or if it's a video on TikTok or on YouTube or Rumble or whatever video platform you get your content or your conspiracy content on, you just believe it. You don't go do your own research. How many people go and actually download it? Or how many people watch someone who goes and downloads it and does the research for you if you don't want to do it yourself? Very, very few people. If you don't want to read all that, just go to what's important. Application investigations, right? That means putting it to work, putting it to use. We investigated putting these things to use. That's on page 10. Oh, wait, hold on. What was the rest of this before we skip on here? Okay. We're going to go to page 10. Right? Page 10, right? Okay, it doesn't tell us what page we're on. How do we know what page we're on? Okay, so we went too far. So that's the appendix. I don't know. This isn't set up the way they're usually like. How do I know what page, like, where's page 10, dude? Okay, that's the preface. Recent CIA direction. Brief history. Research efforts. All right, so we haven't come to practical application yet. Come on. Long distance, recent reviews. Am I just like missing it or what? Projects worked. Where's practical application? Okay, here's so it's got to be this because it didn't say it, but foreign assessments was after. So several important basic. Let me just read this. Related findings resulted later. These were long distance shielding do not affect results. Some people have an innate capability to perform well. Orientation is important psychological factor. States blah blah. Reviewed by an expert 9 times. Research approach people were judged scientifically sound. Some of the procedure problems. Okay. Is application investigations in early 1970s. Okay. Well, okay. So CIA funded it in 1972, did it say? In the early 1970s. But then they stopped in 1975. My question would be, if this stuff works, why would they stop funding it? Right? If you're able to, what does this thing say? Transcend space and time, alter physical reality, manifest thoughts into existence, which through magic and stuff you can manifest, but like not just by meditating and focusing on the quantum chi and then raising the vibrations to bring in the 18th dimension. That's not how it's done. Psychokinesis, no. Telepathy, not really. Like, yes, you can do out-of-body experiences. That's real. Transcend space and time, unless you mean out-of-body experiences. Come on. Self-healing, you can do that, but that's there's limitations. You're not going to self-heal from being mauled by a bear, right? So like you got to temper the expectations here. But so if this stuff really works in totem, like they say, why would the CIA stop funding it? It says subsequent funding for RV investigations at SRI was provided by DIA and some of DIA. So what is DIA? Department, or I don't know, of Internal something? I don't know. Of some of DIA service support elements with occasional support from various R&D, which is research and development organizations. DIA's interest in funding this area was primarily from a threat assessment point of view in order to help understand the Soviet work. Okay. The successful long-distance SRI remote viewing experiments from the 1970s generated interest in operational pursuits with in-house government personnel. Okay. All right. So here's the important part, because so far it makes it seem like, what are you talking about, Rebel? This is all, but that's why we have to keep reading. You got to keep reading. And the way that they're wording this, you really have to read. If you just gloss over this, you'd go, this seems like they're saying it works. What are you talking about? Right here. This is it. Okay, yeah. So it's this, it won't let me highlight, but it's this paragraph right here. Overall, Stargate activity is based on both a concurrent research and application philosophy. It is recognized that formal scientific proof of this phenomena may yet be available, meaning it's not. Even though anomaly demonstration may be granted in some academic areas, which means the proof is not there. There is no evidence that this stuff works. However, there have been some things, some anomalous things that have happened that academics and scientists might go, okay, I'll give you that. You, out of 100 times of trying to guess what was on the card I'm holding that you can't see, you try to read my mind, you got it 2 times. That's a 2% success. Okay, so I'll give you those 2 times. That's what they're saying here, right? That's why you can't just gloss over these things. And that's what people like Shadow Intel and other people that post this type of stuff, that's what they're expecting you to do. Just gloss over it. That if you or someone else does come read this, you're not going to just sit here and actually read through. You're going to skim through it like I was, and it seems like but no, you got to read. That's why I wanted to get to the application studies, because all the rest of that stuff is irrelevant until you talk about how it works in actual use. Let's keep reading. Although formal scientific acceptance could be helpful, the history of application investigations in this field demonstrates that at least some level of application reliability can be achieved for some types of projects. Which means, hey, we got it right 2 times out of the 100, so we can be used for something, right? Come on. The issue is how to improve overall data quality, reliability, so that wider use can be made of this potential capability. It doesn't work the way that these people are saying. Yes, the government studied these things. Yes, they looked into them. But at the end of the day, they stopped. This says that they only funded it for like 3 years, 4 years, max. It said in early 1970s, the government started funding it and they pulled it back in 1975. So the max is 4 or 5 years. Let's say that they started in 1970 and they stopped in 1975. That's 5 years. That's it. And they were out. If this stuff works the way that they said, either one of 2 things happened. Either they perfected it within those 5 years, no need to fund it no more, whatever, which doesn't make any sense. Why would you perfect it and then be done? You would want to keep it going, and so you continue funding it so that way it can be used in, modern day. Or it didn't work. We're seeing it didn't work. They can dress it up however they want, but they're saying there is no proof. We need help from the scientific community. We need help making it more reliable and more quality data. This is why you need to do your own research for real. It's not just going on X and going, well, this guy said, and 184 people agree with him. Or let's say that there's 10 people who say it doesn't say that, blah, blah, blah. 174 people agree with this guy. You have to go and you have to read this stuff, guys. That's why I did it live for the remote viewing one. And I guess this one's also about remote viewing, so maybe it was, but this wasn't the same document that we read before. The one that we read before was organized well, and you didn't even have to read like I did, have to skim through the document. It had the damn, what was it called? It was like the summary or something like that. Like, and then it like at the top, like it had like the table of contents, and then it went to the summary. And you would read through the summary, and the summary would be like, if you didn't want to read the whole document, it would condense it into like 3 or 4 pages. And in the summary, it gave you the results. And the results was we studied it. There was a couple of hits here and there, but overall it wasn't reliable, it wasn't useful. We're going to call it quits on this. That's what they're saying here. So please don't get fooled by people posting images like, look guys, look at this chart. It says that they did it. Look at this, guys. Look, whatever that is. Look, they blocked it out. Look, it's a line on a paper. Look, it says appendix. Look. Read it. Actually read it. You'll be very surprised. But all right, guys, I'm going to cut it there. I don't want this video to be too long. So thank you for checking out this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. As always, seek the mysteries. Peace.